Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful like Akim, teaching and preaching his truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Isaac Awasat, today's lesson is entitled Being Content with Living a Basic Life. And Lord willing, we be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the true names of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. And as always, the sit downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel of the Most High, unto you as the gospel preach. Shalom. So today we'll be, going into this topic about just being content and living a basic life. Where we understanding that the time and seasons that we're in now, there's going to be a lot of different things that take place in the very near future. All right. We speak about, chaos, famine, pestilence, tribulation, the love of many waxing cold, this new financial system that they're going to be slowly, no, not slowly, but, and they're going to be pushing out this new financial system in the very near future. And a lot of things is going to, happen quick. All right. A lot of things that we've been grown accustomed to here in Babylon the Great, which is America, they're going to be a thing of the past. And even now, you with the price hike on eggs, that's just one example. Eggs is what at the grocery store I went to, they were $9.99. And last week they were $7.99. And the eggs wasn't even in abundance. It was only a few cartons there. Just stuff like that. And even when we went through the time of C-19 in its earlier stages, was it napkins and toilet paper and rubbing alcohol stuff was not being accessible. So it's good to get in the mindset of having a basic and simple lifestyle. All right, just having the basic necessities and being satisfied with that, because when everything hits the fan, a lot of people is going to mourn because of their goodies is going to be taken away. All right. And the scriptures speak about, having a basic lifestyle. So I'm going to start here with a simple Bible search with the word content. So there's a couple of precepts that stuck out. So here in Philippians, it says this, and this was an epistle that Apostle Paul wrote to the scattered Israelites. It says, let me see if we can go into it, maybe read up a little bit. It's good to read up a couple of verses. And it's entitled The Most High Provisions. So the provisions are, food, different, daily necessities that you need. And the Most High provide these things. It says, but Philippians 4:10, but I rejoice in the Lord greatly that now at the last your care of me have flourished again, because, the various churches, they were supporting Paul. I heard Paul even said, or Apostle Paul even said, that I have reaped unto you spiritual things, shall not I reap, from you carnal things. So, Paul was teaching them and giving them the understanding of the teachings of Yahweh Shai and getting the various churches in order. So these churches, they were supporting Paul financially. It says that now at the last your care of me have flourished again, and it was the Spirit of the Lord placed on the individuals at these churches to bless Paul. That's why it's entitled The Most High's Provisions. It says that now at the last your care of me have flourished again, wherein you were also careful, but ye lacked opportunity. Sometimes one church would help out Paul, more than another. I believe the Church of Corinth, they were helping out Paul a lot. It says, not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith be content. So, sometimes you have more, sometimes you have less, sometimes you have just enough. But whatever state you in, you want to be content. And let's look up this word content real quick.
Strong's G 842. Austaticase. Austaticase.
And the first entry, it says sufficient for oneself. You know, something that's good enough, you know, for you. Strong enough or possessing enough to need no aid or support. So you got to come to the understanding of what's sufficient for you. What's enough to have you satisfied without having to go overboard or needing to have all this substance and all these possessions and all these different things of the world that attaches you to this place. All right. It says content with one's lot, with one's means, though the slenderest. All right. So just understanding, you know, what's sufficient for you, right? Let's keep reading. I know both how to be abased. You know, Paul knew how to deal, you know, when he had not a lot of things. It says, and I know how to abound. So when he had extras, when he had, you know, surplus, he knew how to deal when he was increased. Everywhere and in all things, I am instructed both, Slakia, everywhere and in all things, I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. So he understood balance. He knew what it was to be hungry. He knew what it was to be full, you know, so on and so forth. And it says, I can do all things through Yahweh Shai, which strengthening me. So, you know, Paul, he had that understanding of how to deal, you know, with balance. And that's one of the things that you have to incorporate in this truth. And balance is basically mean being in the middle. All right. When we go to Proverbs, pull this up real quick. Solomon spoke about being in the middle. Proverbs 30:7. Two things have I required of thee, deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies, these false doctrines, these other lifestyles that leads you to destruction. You know, different, you know, trends and different fads, you know, all that stuff is vanity. Give me neither poverty nor riches. So you want to be in the middle. You don't want to be, you know, begging for money and begging for food. And then you also don't want to be rich here in the society because that comes with a certain vibration, a certain energy, you know, when you're being rich. You know, a lot of these people who have great success and have riches, they can't sleep at night. They got to look at their security cameras. They got to constantly watch their back. They got family members that's trying to, you know, come up on them. Different people trying to scheme on them. You know, people trying to sue them and take them to court. Just all kind of things come with being rich. And that's what this world promotes. You know, you want to be rich. You want to have all this great success and all that. But the downside of that, there's a spirit that come with that everybody may not be able to deal with, you know? It says, feed me with food convenient for me. So Solomon, you know, he's saying he just want what's convenient for him. You know, he want to just be satisfied with just what's cool for his lot. It says, least I be full and deny thee. These rich people, they deny the Most High because their God has become riches and success and substance and possessions and all this different shit, you know? These people that are full, they would deny the Lord. I don't need the Lord. You know, what do I need spirituality for when I got 100 M's in the bank that can deliver me out of any problem I'm faced with? You know, you don't want to be rich in this society. We'll be rich in the kingdom because the Lord will give us the spirit to deal with that. Least I be full and deny thee and say, who is Yahweh? You know, that's proud. That's a proud statement. And that's the spirit that's in Esau. Esau is the rich man. And least I be poor and steal and take the name of my power in vain. You know, you don't want to be poor out here. You living on the bottom. You out here on these streets, and you see these people. As soon as you pop off the freeway, they got a sign with a cross on it saying 50 cent, and they don't even believe in the Most High. You know, they take the Lord's name in vain. You know, so you want to be just in the middle, all right, in this lifestyle. I mean, in this world. You want to live a basic and simple life. All right, we're going to get some more precepts. All right, 2 Timothy chapter 6, verse 8. Having food and raiment, let us therewith content. Content meaning just being satisfied. All right, food and raiment, basic necessities. You know, of course, you need, you know, you may have a hobby, you know, you're going to have particular possessions. You're going to have a laptop, you're going to have a smartphone, you may have a tablet, you know, you may be into playing the game. You're going to have different things. All right. That's why you got to understand what's sufficient for you. You know, what's sufficient for you may not be what's sufficient for the next man that can be classified as being content. So you got to find that balance. All right. And here in the scripts, it gives us that understanding. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 29. The point is in 21, but we're going to start at 20 to build up the vibration. It says, help thy neighbor, and your neighbor is your fellow yokeman that's in the faith that you labor with, according to thy power, and beware that thou thyself fall not into the same. So, you know, you know, your brother have a situation, you know what I mean? He may need some help. You know, according to your ability, you know, you help him. You know, he may be down $200. He may not have the $200. He may have 60. You know, that was according to your power. You help him out with that. You know, he might be in a situation where he need a new tire or something like that, and you know, you be able to help him out. You know, the best that you can, right? And it says, and beware that thou thyself fall not into the same. So with the tire example, let's say, for instance, a brother had a blowout on the freeway. Both his tires then blew out. And now he needed some bread to get him fixed. You help him out. But in the same token, you know, you go ahead and go and check your tires. Make sure, you know, your tread is good on your tires, that you got air in your tires so that you won't fall into that same situation. You know what I mean? And have you some extra money put to the side. You know? 21. The chief is the principle, the most important, the top thing. The chief thing in life is water and bread, all right? Food and clothing and a house to cover your shame. So that's the basic necessities right there. You know, as long as you got food, water, clothes on your back, and the place to live, you know, that's the base level requirements to have to having a content life. It says, better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage. You know, better it is to, you know, have a basic house, because that's what a cottage is. Just, you know, your basic house, you know, basic apartment, right? Then delicate fare in another man's house. So here it is, you living in somebody else's house, but that house is on a level. It got the decor, it got the acres, it got the big square footage, got the tall ceilings, the crown molding, you know, the stainless steel appliances, the granite countertops, the tile floors, you know, the nice baseboards, recessed lightings, but you in somebody else's spot. It says, be it little or much, hold thee content. So the scriptures push the vibration of being content, whether you got a little bit or whether you got a lot. You want to be content because you don't want to get into that covetous spirit, because that's the spirit that this place push. Want, need. I gotta have. You know, when you in that space, it's hard to find that middle ground of being satisfied. And then having all these wants and stuff for the world, all that does is it just fully, you know, attaches you to the system where you gotta be working that full-time job. You gotta be working the OT. You got to be doing all this and all that just to keep these different things afloat. You got 2 cell phone bills. You wanted the big truck. So you paying $800 on a car note. Then the gas prices is ridiculous. You wanted a 2-story house. That was an extra $50,000 on your home loan, whatever. That all these different things, it just continually puts the spirit on you to have to be a servant on these jobs. You're going out every weekend, you eating out every weekend. You're going out every weekend, you eating out every day. There's more money being spent. You got to learn how to cook your own meals, stay at home, find different little activities at the house that you can do. All right. And being content with that. Because like I said, you got to start through the spirit conditioning yourself, because shit is finna get crazy out here. All these people that's used to going out every weekend and doing this and doing that and living a life of an abundance. Man, when Esau get to slowing this shit up, man, these people's gonna be the first ones that's going out there and standing in the back of those lines waiting to get the C hip in them. All right. That thou, Ecclesiastes 29:23, be it little or much, hold thee content, that thou hear not the reproach of thy house. For it is miserable life to go from house to house. Yeah, if you're living with this person for 6 months, then you're living with this person for 6 months. That's a miserable lifestyle. All right. Where thou art a stranger, thou darest not open thy mouth, because you can't really say nothing about what's going on in the house, because they took you in. You can't open your mouth about none that's going on in the house. Thou shalt entertain and feast and have no thanks. Yeah, here it is, you cooking, you doing things around the house, and they don't even give you thanks. They don't even appreciate the stuff that you're doing in that house. That's why it says it's better to, be on the low level and living in the basic house of your own than delicate fare in another man's house, because you're going to experience being miserable. Thou shalt entertain and feast and have no thanks. Moreover, thou shalt hear bitter words. Go over here and get this. Go over here and get that. They're going to talk shit about you. Come now, stranger, and furnish a table and feed me of that thou hast ready. Give place, thou stranger, to an honorable man. This is what the head of the house is saying to you if you're living with somebody. Give place, thou stranger, to an honorable man. My brother coming to be lodged and have need of my house. And I've been in that situation. You staying with somebody, and this is when I was younger. He had a girl come through. Hey, could you leave for a minute? Could you find you somewhere to go for a minute? While I go and do my thing. I need my spot. I got this girl coming over. Now you got to go out and figure it out. These things are grievous to a man of understanding, the upbraiding of a house room and reproach of a lender. So you want to have, your own spot, right? So imagine when all these different things is taken away from these people. They're gonna experience that miserable lifestyle. It's gonna be miserable and painful for these people. That's why they're gonna be willing to go and take the implantable technology to get back, some so-called independency. And the spirit of Jake is to be low key. All right, when you go to Genesis, the 25th chapter, Jacob, he dwelled at the tents. He chilled at the crib, cooking food. That's in our spirit. So you want to get back into that. This spirit of being out and about and living this abundance and rich lifestyle and having so much stuff to do. That's what these nations do. That's what Esau do. This is Genesis 25, goes into the birth of Jacob and Esau. But I want to read this characteristic that was in Jacob in the 27th verse. Genesis 25:27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. It's going into the characteristics or the behavior of the two boys. When you read Matthew, the 7th chapter, it says a tree may be known by its fruit. The fruit is the actions, the different things that that particular person is about. So here it says Esau, which is the so-called white man, was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. All right. Let me see something real quick. We're gonna pull up something. There's a magazine called The Outdoorsman. Magazine. Esau was an outdoorsman. This is Esau. Okay. This is the spirit of Esau, the outdoor life. All right. Man of the field, cunning hunter, you know, getting the venison, which venison is deer. All right. This is Esau, cowboy, Carone, which the real cowboys were Native Americans and Jakes. All right. Israelites. Outdoor life, fishermen. This is Esau. This is the characteristic of Esau. Here you go, right here. Look, the outdoorsman. Feel me? What it say about Jacob? Genesis 25:27. And the boys grew. Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in the tents. Jacob, he liked to chill at the crib. He was a plain man. Plain not meaning basic, but plain meaning righteous. Okay. Let me see something. Plain, going back to thumb, which is perfect, complete, nothing, one who lacks nothing physical strength. C is the most fitting entry. Complete, morally innocent, having integrity. So Jacob, he chilled at the house. He had integrity. He was, had that righteous conduct. All right. And that's the spirit that you got to get into. You got to be like our forefather Jacob. And we know the Lord was dealing with Jacob. He put by Esau. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. Venison, that's deer. Esau was a cunning hunter in the field. He was out hunting, getting that deer. All right. Being that outdoorsman. Setting traps. That's the spirit of Esau. But Rebekah loved Jacob. All right. So then it says Jacob saw pottage. So he was at the crib cooking. He was making them soups. Esau came from the field and was faint, and goes into the story of Esau wanting Jacob to hurry up with that food. He wanted some fast, quick food. But the point is, Jacob, he was a plain man. He was morally upright. He had integrity, and he chilled at the crib. He wasn't all out there. He wasn't in the streets like Esau. All right. And that's shalom to the Akim and the Akwap that's listening and learning. And that's the spirit that you want to have too, man. You want to learn how to be content. Like I said, when shit hit the fan and all the different chaos and different things that we read in the script start coming to pass, these people is going to be losing it. Get into living a basic life. And as you're living a basic life, you'll understand that you ain't got to work as much. You ain't got to work as hard. You find out what's sufficient for you. You ain't got to be at work pulling, I need to work, my off days and yada, yada, yada. People that's working their off days and doing all this extra shit and got to have more. They're trying to live a lifestyle that they can't financially support. Now with balance, I will say this. Scripture speak about according to thy ability, do good to yourself. So there is going to be things that, you're going to want. There's going to be things that you want to buy, so on and so forth. But apply balance, man. And, these lessons is to me first, to you. Let me get this in Ecclesiastes 14. Let me see. 11. My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself and give the Lord his due offering. All right. So, you know, according to your financial, ability, your financial strength, you want to do good to yourself. Buy you a t-shirt, buy you some shoes, go take you, take yourself somewhere, go watch that movie you've been wanting to watch, or, go buy whatever you've been wanting to buy, but don't surround your life around that though, you know, and give the Lord his due offering. Make sure you're doing the work. Let me see. I think that's the only one right there. Yeah, that's a good precept right there. So, Lord willing, this is comforting, a reminder to, just let's live a content life and living a basic life, man. Understanding the basic necessities and just being content with that, being satisfied with that. All right, living the access life. All right, it's just gonna make it worse for you when things go left here in the society. Because a lot of people, they're gonna be asked out when all these goodies is taken away from them. Now I'll end off here in Second Edra 16, because all these things that people have grown accustomed to, it's going to be all tossed out. Let's see. Second Edra 16, verse 40. Oh, my people, hear my word. All right. The prophecies make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So when these bad times come, because that's what evils is, scriptures speak about, it's saying be pilgrims upon the earth. So you're going to have to detach from this place. And the more possessions that you have, the more things that you add into you, it's going to be harder when it's time to withdraw from this place, because the Lord is going to put a spirit out here for us to detach. It says, "Be even as pilgrims upon the earth." A pilgrim. Let's see if I pull it up. A pilgrim is a traveler who is on a journey to a holy place. So, we're gonna be on a journey. We're gonna be, moving out here. All right, the Lord is gonna be leading us. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise, all these different things that you got, you may have a business, right? As he that have no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. It says, he that soweth as if he should not reap. You working these jobs, you're not going to get that pension. You're not going to get the 401k. A lot of these businesses, they going bankrupt. Party City just went bankrupt, which that was spiritual. Party City, I remember going there, being young, getting different things for parties and stuff like that. But, the Lord is making known that that party, that mirth, is going to be done away with. It's going bankrupt. He that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. So you're not gonna, don't look at things as being beneficial for you here in the long run. You just gotta, like your Howard said, pray for your daily bread, your daily necessity, stuff that just to get you by. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers, and therefore they that labor in vain. Things ain't gonna be beneficial in these times. That pension, the 401k, and you investing and all that, that was good for the generation before, our fathers, but we're in a different time. Esau finna do that reset. He finna press that reset button. Esau's finna spiritually snatch the power plug out of the back of the PlayStation, turn all this shit off, and he's gonna put a new system in. He's finna change it all up. So leading to that time, you want to get in the spirit of being content, living a basic life, not adding to you all this extra, shit of the world that's all going to be passed away and done away with. So through the spirit, went into various precepts going into being content. We read about Jacob, our forefather, on how he was plain man dwelling at the tent, cooking soups, getting that spirit. But with balance, we also went into, according to thy ability, do good to yourself. So, don't get in the spirit of just being in the house. You want to also, if you want to go out and do something, go ahead and do it. But don't let that be your lifestyle. So I'm going to leave it at that. Lord willing, you're edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our elders and apostles, great millstone, and tell us his truth. Shalom, Akim, stay strong.